Over 12 centuries after his death, the jurisprudence of millions of Muslims is defined by a single word: Ja'fari. But behind this massive body of law was a single man whose life unfolded in a city of memory. In the quiet houses of Medina, he was Ja'far, the son of Muhammad. His defining title, al-Sadiq, the truthful, reflected an uncompromising honesty in how he transmitted the teachings of his ancestors. He was born in the year 83 AH, roughly 702 of the Common Era. By this time, Medina was no longer the political capital. Power had moved to Damascus, leaving the city to the scholars and the Prophet's family. Most sources record his birth on the 17th of Rabi al-Awwal. This date carries a heavy symbolic weight, as it's the exact same day many Muslims associate with the birth of the Prophet himself. This shift in political geography allowed his family to focus on preserving the memory of the Prophet's city. Away from the immediate gaze of the Umayyad court, they built a sanctuary for scholarship that prioritized text and tradition over imperial decree. For his first 3 decades, Ja'far lived under the guidance of his father, the 5th Imam, Muhammad al-Baqir. His father's title meant the one who splits open knowledge, and he imparted a rigorous intellectual discipline to his son. To fully understand him, we must look at his mother, Farwa. She was a woman of deep piety and knowledge. Through her, Imam al-Sadiq's grandfather and great-grandfather descended directly from Abu Bakr, the first caliph. The Imam himself acknowledged the weight of this heritage, stating in a well-preserved tradition that Abu Bakr begat me twice. As he grew older, he built his own household. He married Fatima and later Hamida, and became the father to several children. 3 of his sons, Ismail, Abdallah, and Musa al-Kazim, would hold significant roles in the history that followed. By absorbing the theological depth of his father and the respected lineage of his mother, he embodied a living bridge across the divided memories of the early Muslim community. In the year 114 AH, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir was poisoned. At approximately 31 years old, Ja'far al-Sadiq assumed a leadership role that would span 34 years, one of the longest in the tradition of the 12 Imams. Far beyond Medina, the Umayyad state was fracturing. Regional revolts tore the empire apart, while black banners mobilized a massive revolutionary movement in Khorasan. In 132 AH, the Abbasids finally overthrew the Umayyads. They had built their revolution by demanding leadership for the Prophet's family. But once in power, the Abbasids took the caliphate for themselves. As competing factions launched armed rebellions to claim the throne, Imam al-Sadiq made a deliberate choice. He declined every invitation to lead an uprising and refused to seek political office. The violent transition of empires accidentally created a rare, unpoliced intellectual space. The Imam used this opening to build a scholarly institution that would outlast any temporary dynasty. He held sessions in the Mosque of the Prophet. Students traveled from Egypt, Iraq, Iran, and Khorasan just to sit in his circle. Traditional reports identify as many as 4,000 transmitters carrying knowledge directly from him. His curriculum was vast. Beyond jurisprudence and Quranic exegesis, he engaged with complex theology, natural philosophy, and early alchemy through students like Jabir ibn Hayyan. His authority was recognized across emerging sectarian lines. Abu Hanifa, founder of the Hanafi school, famously stated, "If not for those 2 years, Nu'man would have perished." Malik ibn Anas also attended his circle and held him in deep reverence. Yet he is also remembered walking through Medina at night, carrying a sack of food for families that did not know its source. He corrected opponents gently and prayed for those who slandered him. His enduring influence stemmed from a moral dignity that refused to weaponize knowledge against his critics. Eventually, the Abbasid rulers realized what the Umayyads had missed. Caliph al-Mansur understood that a man of the Imam's stature refusing to compete for power quietly exposed the illegitimacy of those who claimed it, leading to intense and constant surveillance. The pressure reached its climax in 148 AH, or 765 of the Common Era. At approximately 65 years of age, Shia sources report that Imam al-Sadiq was poisoned on the direct orders of Caliph al-Mansur. He was buried in Jannat al-Baqi, the sacred cemetery of Medina, laid to rest beside his father, his grandfather, and his ancestor Imam al-Hasan. The mausoleums that originally marked these graves were later destroyed. Today, only the unmarked ground remains. Al-Mansur could end his life, and later factions could level his shrine. But none of them could dismantle the intellectual fortress he had spent 34 years constructing. Imam Jafar al-Sadiq did not invent a new religion. The term Ja'fari fiqh simply represents the massive, systematized preservation of the teachings inherited directly from the Prophet. His life offers a precise blueprint. He turned a geopolitical crisis into a classroom. He built a circle of influence that bridged dividing sects, and he proved that intellectual integrity and moral dignity outlast any throne. A celebration of al-Sadiq's life is a commitment to the same standard of intellectual integrity he modeled. Seeking knowledge becomes a priority over merely defending existing beliefs. If you want to explore the history of the Ahlul Bayt through research-driven documentaries, please subscribe to the Majlis Lab. Share this video and join us to uncover the stories behind our legacy.